Another love scam organization has been busted, and dozens of people have been arrested. Another pogo has been raided. Apparently, they were involved in a number of different scams as well. We'll get into that and a couple of other stories. One thing we do not know, one thing we do not know is what has happened in regard to the kidnapped American in Mindanao. A couple of days ago we heard they had arrested 3 people. We're looking for 3 or 4 more others, but we don't know what's going on yet. Haven't received any new news on that. But we'll get into these stories. I've got some advice and some a little more in-depth information on these types of operations as well. Who are you talking to online? You need to really check that out. Also, check out my membership site. Hit the join button down in the lower left, I think, of the video, lower left-hand corner. And 2 different levels of membership. I've got exclusive videos, a number of other different things. I do a deeper dive into a number of subjects, real estate, relationships, and other things. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. Who are you talking to online? Who are you talking to? Is it part of a scam? Boy, this is every week I'm reading these articles about love scams, online love scams, and it's not just one person. Although sometimes it's one person who is scamming several foreigners. Here from the Philippine Star newspaper online. 85 nabbed in scam hub raid. And believe me, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of these scam hubs throughout the world and Southeast Asia, and in particular the Philippines. Philippines, partly because there are a lot of English speaking people here. Anyway, Manila, 85 people, including 69 foreigners, were rounded up when police raided an alleged online scam hub in Malate, Manila on Tuesday night. Armed with a search warrant, a joint team from the Police Anti-Cybercrime Group and the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation swooped down on information technology firm at the corner of Adriatico and Monica Streets. The suspects, 59 women, 26 men, were caught while doing live online operations. Of the number, 69 are foreigners. Police said 34 of the foreigners are Indonesians, 25 are Chinese, 10 are Malaysians. One of the suspects, 23-year-old Ki Tian, was accused of illegally detaining and exploiting 5 Chinese nationals. Basically, slavery. You're detaining people. You lock them in the office, make them sleep and eat there, and it's. I read another article today. These Filipinos and people from around the world, they answer these ads, online ads. Oh, come to such and such country and make top dollars as a secretary or executive secretary, whatever. And people answer those, and they're carted off. Anyway, the officials at the airport in Manila found one of these. They question the people. Why are you leaving? Where are you going? Who are you with? And they become suspicious, and they rescued a girl who was going off to another country and probably going to be one of these detained and exploited Filipinos. The victims identified, and you can read through that if you would like. This guy, I'm not going to try to pronounce some of these words, said they have been investigating the IT firm for about 3 months after receiving reports that it is involved in love and cryptocurrency investment scams. Love. Does that include you? Investigation showed that the establishment has been operating illegally for nearly 1 year after its license was revoked November 2023. Using a website and prepared scripts, the suspects Engaged foreigners, is that you? And Filipinos who are seeking to have relationships online. Police said that once the victims could no longer give money, the suspects would close the cryptocurrency accounts. All I have to say is verify, trust, but verify. Verify, make them show a couple IDs at least, a government IDs, hopefully. It's pretty easy uh, to generate, to buy fake IDs. Find out more about the person, and where's the family live? What do they do? Just question. I have a habit of in the USA in particular, when I'm approached by people asking money. Oh, my car ran out of gas down here about 2 blocks down here. Can you give me $20 for gas? And I'll say, well, yeah, we'll get the gas and I'll help you carry it to the car. No, that's not required. That's okay, sir. You know, and I question them. Well, do you have an ID? Oh yeah, yeah. Let me see your driver's license. And they don't want to give it to you. They don't want to show you any identification. And one guy did. He opened his wallet. I had parked in a shopping center going in to get something, and he approached me. And anyway, I could just smell a rat, and so I started questioning him. And I said, "Well, let me see your ID." And he opened his wallet. It's full of money. It's full of money. I said, "Well, use some of that money. Use some of that money to buy your gas." "Oh, sir, it's that's not my money." I said, "Well, maybe we should call the police and find out whose money it is." And he quickly disappeared. I went in and did my shopping. I came back out, and he saw me from a distance, and he started walking off the lot because I was going to warn others of the scam. I could tell you a dozen other stories like that. Men, women asking money. They've got a story. It kind of sounds like it could be legit, but once I start questioning them, so my advice, question, question, question. I mean, you don't have to act like a detective, but over the course of time, before you send money, of course, before you send money, um, question, find out more about the person, make sure they are legitimate. Unless you just got tons of money and you don't care if you're having some kind of online relationship with a scammer, if that's okay with you, go for it. It's your money, it's your time. But there are a lot of legitimate girls out there online as well. The trick is just like news. There's so much biased news out there, uh, misinformation from all of the news sources. It takes a lot of time to try to sort through the crap to try to get closer to the truth. And it's a battle. It's a battle from day to day. And here's another story: Bataan Pogo Hub into black market banking. Get into the article. Interesting article. Pogo's President Marcos Jr. declared, I think in July it is, declared during his State of the Nation address that Pogo's Philippine offshore gaming organizations are have to be shut down by the end of this year, 2024. And there are tens of thousands of employees, and there are those that are registered with government, and there are those that are illegal, are not registered and or registered. But one thing about, well, let's get into the article and I'll explain a little more here. Investigators have reported spotting red flags indicating the raided Philippine offshore gaming operator hub in Bagak, Bataan, is involved in black market banking and other illegal activities. while Central One, which is the POGO, projects itself as a business process outsourcing. This is key. My understanding that is that BPOs, which are often call centers, can be 100% foreign owned. That is one of the categories. They have expanded the businesses that can be 100% foreign owned here a couple of years ago, I believe, and that is one of them. So they registered as a business process outsourcing, basically a call center. There are signs the company is involved in online scams. The spokesman Winston John Cascio yesterday said a closer scrutiny showed that Central One is not a call center. He said it is possible that the BPO could be involved in black market banking, a form of underground activity wherein goods and services are exchanged illegally. I hope we are wrong, but based on what we are seeing, these are indicators of black market banking and underground banking. It is not an ordinary company, and it's easy to scam people, Filipinos and foreigners. I've had foreigners approach me a couple different times. Invest in such and such. I doubled my money. I doubled my money every month for the last 6 months, and you can too. I've had foreigners approach me with that kind of thing. No doubt it is a pyramid scheme, but anyway, he said the discovery of the win box at the hub indicated that the company is engaging in illegal activities. Winbox is a gaming platform that is barred in other countries as it is reportedly used for cryptocurrency and investment scams. The raiding team seized several phones, which Casio believed were used for a payment system for online transaction from Nepal. The phones were used for placing online sports bets involving millions of transactions. He said investigators have yet to determine if the Pogo hub had been engaging in love scams. Yeah. Up to 57 foreigners and 358 Filipinos were rounded up following the raid on Central Park in the barangay Parang on Thursday. He said they are looking for 4 Malaysians and a Thai national who were not present during the raid. The employee, identified as alias Arlene, criticized for saying that the workers were rescued from the hub. We were not rescued. Nothing bad was happening to us inside, Arlene said, adding she and her co-workers would not have stayed in the company if they were being abused or forced to do illegal activities. Now this part's interesting. Arlene said she has been working for Central One for nearly 2 years. She said she and her fellow workers in the night shift were about to go home when a van with armed men on board pulled up. Arlene said the men told them to raise their hands and prohibited them from using their phones. That was the police, I guess. Another interesting article, and I'll get into a little bit of the no-go zones here in the Philippines. 19 dead as Moro groups clash in Maguindanao, down southwest Mindanao Island here in the Philippines. Moro, if you want to read a good book, Moro Wars, the Moro Wars. I download books. I think I've got over 450 books on my phone. And Moro Wars was very interesting. History of the very early U.S. involved in the Philippines and the Moro Wars in primarily in Mindanao, and through many different years, and commanders of the armies and air forces, the Philippine Army, and very interesting read if you're interested in the history in that part of the world and the U.S. involvement. At least 19 gunmen were killed in a series of gunfights between 2 armed Moro groups locked in a land dispute. Officials of the police office, I'm not going to try to pronounce all these words, said on Thursday that the two groups were squabbling over ownership of vast swaths of agricultural lands. And I can tell you, my girlfriend's father's family uh, grew up and lived in that area for decades. And there was a time, decades ago, that they were out fishing in the sea, the ocean, and they were fired upon by, call them Moros, Muslims, whatever. They were fired upon and told, you are, with firearms, you are fishing in our waters, not allowed. And apparently her uncle was shot and died. They never found the body. And shortly after that, they got to shore and they crawled as far as they could safely, and quickly moved out of that area and moved into Cebu Island. Anyway, you don't want to go in that area. The, the news about the American who was kidnapped lived down in that area. Still no news. A couple days ago it came out that they had arrested 3 people who admitted being involved in it, and that there was 3 or 4 more people they were looking for. They have not found him. Have not found signs of life, is what they've been saying, which is kind of interesting. You would think a couple days later, if they've got three men under arrest, that they would have some additional information. Anyway, the Major General Antonio Navarrete, commander of the Army 6th Infantry Division, said that he has directed the 602 Infantry Brigade, which has jurisdiction over the area, to help local officials and the police reposition the two groups away from Kalangan to enable religious and traditional moral leaders to settle the conflict. Interesting story. A number of years ago, the Secretary of Agriculture under Duterte, there was some illegal. The Philippines imports the most rice of any country in the world, I believe, still. And there was information that there was a lot of illegal rice coming in and being stockpiled by certain people, partly in southern Mindanao. And he went down there, and the first thing they asked him, what tribe are you from? What tribe are you from? And he thought that was kind of funny, but that's kind of the thinking. There are families, there are clans, there are tribes in many different parts of the Philippines who have influence. And how you deal with one clan or tribe will have something to do with historical relations between those tribes or clans, I guess. In the report, on Thursday, municipal officials said that the hostilities involved Alanto Sultan and his relatives in the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, and another faction led by Ekton Dandua, also a ranking member of the front. Barangay officials said that the incident left 19 fatalities on both sides. Nufarate, citing reports, said soldiers who responded to the incident found 9 cadavers with bullet wounds in one of the scenes of the encounters. Villagers, among them Muslim preachers residing in Kilangan, who relocated to safe areas as the skirmishes ensued, said 10 more gunmen perished in the clashes in areas far from where the 9 cadavers were recovered by soldiers and policemen. So, if you hear shooting wherever you are, the NPA operates in a number of different areas. I've done a deep dive into those types of areas in my membership site, if you want to check out that information. Most of the Philippines is safe, especially for foreigners and tourists, but there are areas that you might want to consider staying away from. And anyway, always ask the locals about the area. Although even here in Cebu City, I've had people tell me, "Oh no, sir." Early when I came here in 2015, I said I want to go to Cologne Street and Carbone Market. "Oh no, sir, you don't want to do that. Too dangerous down there." And I put it off for a couple of months. And I finally decided I'm going down there, and I didn't have any issues at all. I was on my guard, didn't let anybody get real close to me. Uh, but you do that anywhere. Here a month ago, I was downtown Cebu City, and two girls came up beside me, got way too uncomfortably close. In fact, touching me. And the one girl said, "You want the girl, sir? You want the girl?" And she's a real girl. Her friend, she's a real girl. And I pushed her away. I'm sure she was brushing up against me to try to get into my pocket, get into my wallet, whatever, phone. And so it can happen anytime, any place. Try to stay away from big crowds or where they're. I've lost 3 phones here to snatchers in two in big crowds at Sinulog Festival, and crushing crowds, people bumping up against you and jostling you. And I told my friend a couple of years ago, I said, "Watch your phone." I said, they're getting too close to us. And I reached for my phone, it was gone already. And the third phone I lost, I was down in the poor area around SM Mall, Cebu City, after drinking with a friend, and a couple of kids asked me for some change, and I took some change, gave them change. All of a sudden, I'm surrounded by I don't know, a dozen kids, and they're all asking for money. They see you from a mile away, and all of a sudden they're running. They take off running. They all take off running. I'm thinking, what the heck? And I reach for my phone and my wallet. Both of them are gone. I chased them. I chased them about 2 blocks down a narrow little alley, and didn't see them. I can't run as fast as I used to. I can't run as fast as I used to. You can believe that? You'd think you just keep getting better and faster with age. Not how it works. Anyway, I went back there a couple weeks later, and I thought I recognized one of the kids, and I told him I want my wallet back. And he interesting. He acted like he was punching contractor, and he acted like he was punching, like he's going to go beat up a contractor who has my wallet. And anyway, he disappeared, and I don't know, 15, 20 minutes later, he came back with my wallet. Didn't have the 3 or 4 thousand pesos in it that were there, but it had all my IDs, my credit cards, whatever I was carrying in there. I knew I wasn't going to get my phone back. I'm sure they handed it off to somebody who sold it for some cash, no doubt. But he knew where to go to get my wallet. They had to stash someplace when they would steal something. So just be on your guard. So the question I asked early on is, who are you talking to? Do you know? Do you know who you're talking to? Are you being scammed? It's the internet is a great place, and I used it to meet 2 girls, 2 of the 3 that I have met, and you just need to check things out. There's lots of stories I've heard over the 9 years. One guy was sending his quote unquote girlfriend money for a year or so. He came here, wanted to surprise her. He contacted her. She lived over on Mactan Island, apparently. Contacted her. He told me she was really upset, and he said he kind of knew where she lived and worked, and he went over there in person, and asked him around. He found her, and she was even more upset. So she was probably one of those scammers that found out how easy it is to get foreigners to send you money. Probably had several foreigners sending her money, never intending to have a relationship with any of them, or at least she had a big pool of of generous guys to choose from. See, see who had the most money and was going to send her to spend the most money on her. So anyway, yeah, just it can be fun. It can be easy to fall in love online with somebody online, and they might not turn out to be who you think they are. I've got friends who have had that happen to them. You know, they thought they were meeting one person and turned out to be somebody quite different than what they thought. Anyway, take care, safe travels. See you next time.